All right, start the week off on a good foot. We got our mission statement. Our mission here is to create the greatest group of professional traders compiled in the world. We work tirelessly every day to improve our individual selves and push each other to get the most out of one another. With each individual's personal accountability, 100% effort, and consistent actions towards focusing on our controllables, we will each reach our full potential individually and as a family. I, Stephanos, pledge to be the best version of myself today, to do whatever it takes to be the greatest trader that I can be, and to be the most self-disciplined person that I know. I will do the things I have to do today, regardless of how I feel, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. I will control what I can control and not worry about anything else. Reminders: we do not overtrade, we do not over risk, especially on a Monday. You don't need to catch a trade today. Again, it's Monday. We have a lot of data coming out. 1 to 2 trade ideas per day, 3 if you see that perfect setup. Capital preservation over capital appreciation, aka risk management, is number 1. Keep your trading plan in front of you at all times and read it before every single session. Make smart decisions and stack smart decisions. We are system oriented, not how much money can I make on this one given trade. Also, have a sense of urgency today. It's Monday. It's easy to have a sense of urgency and focus on your tasks every single day, but especially like right now, just focus on today. How much can I get done today? Eliminate excuses and any victim mindset. You are not here because of your circumstances. You're here because of the decisions that you've made in the past, good or bad. Full accountability for your actions. Exactly what I just said. So, looking at the economic calendar this week, we got some nice volume sprinkled in throughout the week. Today might be a little lower. You get EU economic forecast that happened out this morning. You have FOMC member Bowman is going to be speaking today. Prelim GDP price index is coming out, and then also prelim GDP quarter to quarter coming out for Japan later this afternoon and into later tonight more so. But moving into tomorrow, you got claim and count change, which are expecting a little bit less than previous over here, which is good. And then average earnings index has dropped a little bit. Unemployment rate, they're expecting the same exact thing as well. But moving into the New York session, we have CPI coming out. So inflation data to start off the week, starting off with tomorrow, which is going to be nice. Looking at Wednesday, you got CPI coming out. Of course, CPI coming out for Great Britain, so that'll be important for you guys during London. Hopefully, you guys could catch a nice move, reaction to the news. Moving into New York, you got core retail sales coming out, Empire State Manufacturing Index, and retail sales. If you guys remember last month, we were able to get some nice moves from this and CPI actually. But right after retail sales comes out for Great Britain, or for the U.S., you have Lagarde going to be speaking for the EU, so we'll see what she has to say. You have employment data coming out of Australia, so that'll be important as well. Maybe not for us, but it may move the markets. Looking at Thursday, now you got core PPI coming out. That'll be important. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index and unemployment claims coming out as well for the U.S. So that'll be the main focus. That CPI, PPI, and retail sales, all of those are going to be possibly moving the markets. Reserve Bank of Australia, Governor Lowe is going to be speaking as well during the Asian session on Thursday. And then Friday, you got retail sales coming out for Great Britain, right? Import prices coming out for the U.S. A couple of these yellow folder events may move the market, most likely not, but we'll see. Maybe we get that Friday sell-off or possibly a lot of consolidation like we got last week. But if you guys don't have any questions, let's get into the charts right now, break down some pairs, and then do some breakdowns if we don't have any setups that are presenting themselves. So let me get these out. All right. So looking at GJ right now, this monthly candle really started to bounce off that 156 area, this whole support over here, really bouncing off this area. I know the weekly has started out pretty bullish right now, but this candle is really starting to come back above 160 over here, right? It's kind of like sitting as a doji right now. It never passed the low of the previous candle, which closed bullish, right? So could we be holding support over here and continuing up? I think a lot of it has to do with the Bank of Japan and their stance right now when it comes to their new governor of the Bank of Japan. Like, who's going to be coming into control? Is it somebody that's more hawkish or somebody that's more dovish? It's between both of them, between someone that's been pretty critical over their easing of monetary policy in the last I don't know, 4 to 8 years that the Bank of Japan's been there. The new person coming in potentially has been very critical of that, and the other one is pretty much status quo. The other one is more of easing of monetary policy, agrees with all the current policy right now. So whoever gets elected is really going to possibly change this pair, either going down or up, strengthening the Japanese yen or weakening it. So looking at the weekly right now, weekly looks like we've been creating some higher lows so far, right? In the past couple of months, we have been holding resistance over here, right? Right around like 162, holding that resistance up there. But at the same time, we've been creating these higher lows, and this current weekly candle has already passed the high of the previous candle. Got an empty. Okay, sounds good, Lim. Looking at the daily, we're already pushing up pretty high. So we obviously are holding some kind of a resistance here on the Japanese yen. Previous support, previous resistance to the past as well. We're now holding that area. Can we continue right back down? And if that's the case, this thing's going to continue to pump up, right? So we're just going to mark off our current resistance right up top. We're starting to break above that 160 level. As you see that horizontal line, we're starting to break above that level and our previous resistance here to the left. And then obviously you have down here 156, very strong support over here. Been holding some kind of a support down here, but we'll just pay attention right here because this is the daily, and this is all our price action that we need right now. All we see is a big range, but also higher lows being formed, and we may be starting to break the current bearish trend that we were following over here. We'll take a look as we go down the time frames. Yeah, if I remember correctly, yesterday or last week, yeah, we were kind of respecting this current bearish trend over here. And now we're starting to break out of that area, right? We're getting a nice break. If you guys remember, this was that previous support over here that we finally broke last week, retested, and then continued all the way back down to this area. And then we've been holding some kind of like a higher low in this area up here. Right? We kind of faked that area out, held the support as well, held like a higher low right in here as well. Right? But more importantly, we're now breaking above. We got some nice price action right here, holding that support, breaking out of the trend. But now we're starting to break this resistance right here and continue up. Right? We got a nice bottom wick here at 5 a.m. where we created that bottom wick past the high of the previous candle, and then we're just continuing up. So this is nice right now. But keep in mind, if you're not in this right now, you want to wait for some kind of a pullback. And our next resistance is somewhere right up here. Right? So are we just going to continue up to tap into that area, or are we going to get some kind of a pullback to continue back up? So here we go. Let's just readjust this so it looks neat. Okay, you got that wick right in there. You got that support to the left, previous resistance to the left as well. This area held as support, and that was the higher low I was pointing out to you. Oh. And a good thing for you guys to do is before we hop on here at 7 a.m. Eastern, you guys do the same exact thing. You break down all your charts, GJ, gold, US 30, if those are the pairs that you trade, and you try to see how similar this is after I start breaking everything down. See if some of the levels are correct or in the same exact area as mine are. So that'll help you break down charts as well. But looking over here, this is our next target. The next resistance over here, we've rejected multiple times, held as support. Now we're just pushing up. We got almost like a impulse volume push right over here where we get that high, we get that strong close above that area. You get this candle respecting the low of that candle, this one creating that bottom wick, passing the high of the previous candle and just shooting up over here. So two very strong hourly candles over here that price is starting to push up. Now I'm looking at some kind of a possible pullback. We obviously have 160 that price is easily pushing through over here. We have a previous support. We had that resistance over here where this candle ended up closing above that resistance to the left over here. This is almost like a fake out. But then that candle tapped into here, right there. So then I mark off that resistance there, and obviously that was a previous support to the left, right? Multiple rejections to that area. So at any point, I could see price maybe pulling back to that zone. Looking at the 30-minute, yeah, we're just taking off here. Now we had a previous resistance right here. The price easily broke through as well, but we know that price could possibly pull back to that area and retest it. I should just move that right there. Yeah. And then right over here, you get this clean move coming right into this area. So you got clean candles over here to the left that price is now mirroring, right? But again, if you're not in this move right now, it's okay. What you need to do is just wait for some kind of a pullback like you got right here, which is a beautiful pullback, by the way, right? If you guys were trading this at during London over here, 5:30 a.m., this was a perfect break, creates that high. We pull back, you get that bearish candle close, then you get this bullish candle close here on the 30-minute, creating this higher low here. Yeah, see, prices rejected that area multiple times to the left, but we created this high. Pull back, you get that bullish candle close, bottom wick form past the high of that candle. You either take it after that close with your stop loss either here, or I could see you putting it below these wicks as well, just to give you room for managing risk. Because even if you put it down there, you still got that 1-to-1, or actually more than that, 1.87 to 1. So 27 pips to reach that high. And then obviously this thing has the potential to keep running. So we're about 70 pips in profit right now. Right?
What gave you the confidence that that first bullish candle? Because to me that looks like it doesn't look like a strong bullish candle, but
yeah, good
what gives you
question.
confidence that that was going to continue up like there?
Because the first of all, you had such a nice move right over here, right?
Right.
You have all the bullish pressure, and then you get this candle closing outside of that area, right? So we closed outside of the resistance here to the left. And again, you do have this price action to the left where price is broken through there. And
Sure.
every single time it's come down, look, we create this high up here, we reject this area, and we come down, and we never get that strong close, where we never get any bullish close here either, for price to continue up, right? Same exact thing where you get this deeper pullback right over here, where you get that bullish candle closing back into this area, or the bearish candle closing back into this area, and then closing back above. We never actually like hold support in that area to continue up, right? So now when you start to see this candle right here, right? And not only that, but I love this price action right here. Closes above, this candle respects this area for the second time, right? Or actually kind of for the first time. Then this candle respects the low of that candle and then pushes up to create that high. Then we get this doji candle close, but a high created. Classic bearish candle close, still above that area, kind of creating a higher low as well, right? And then this candle passes the low of that candle, taps into this area, rejects it again, and then closes bullish with a wick to fill, right? So now you're starting to get that 5:36 a.m. Volume starting to pump in for GJ here. Bottom wick form, beautiful bottom wick, and then passes the high. If you're not very confident in this candle right here, right? You don't have to enter as soon as it closes. You could wait for this bottom wick to form and pass the high of that candle, and you can enter right there.
Yeah.
And even then, you'd still get the 1-to-1, a little bit more than 1-to-1 to retest that wick.
All right, thanks, man.
Makes
so
sense.
Cool.
And even if you put your stop loss below these wicks, it doesn't even have to be below that one. So this is
Cool.
I'm sure there's a couple of you guys. I'm sure like Quentin, Sharjeel, you guys so far. We got Cannon here. What's up, man? you guys, I think, can attest to this setup right over here. Do you guys like this one?
Yeah, I like that sound.
Right? Looks great. I love this setup right here. So you get the high created, pulls back. If you guys even for you guys, Quentin and Sharjeel, journal this if you guys didn't get in this. Right? This is a great trade that you guys could have taken part in. I don't trade at that time because that's my morning routine, but at the same time, like it's, I'm looking back on it. I'm like, damn, I wish I got in on this, but that's okay. So if you haven't, I would go back and journal it. Now at this point, all I'm doing is waiting for some kind of a pullback because we are pretty overextended here, right? We need something like this to form before you at least enter some kind of a continuation. So that's what I'm waiting to happen. We are in a range where we have clean price action here to the left. Got about 60 pips in this area. So at any point, I'm looking for a price to pull back into this area. Let's see. Maybe into here. Actually, you can honestly pull back anywhere into this area over here. And then we could take a buy from any of these areas. All right. So just wait patiently and grab that. But looking at gold now, still rejecting 1960, 1970, all up in this area up here. This current monthly candle is very bearish due to the Fed getting a little bit more hawkish with Powell being more hawkish and us obviously correcting a very strong bullish technical move, right? Pushing all the way up into 1960, rejecting that area on the weekly, monthly, and some of the lower time frames. So we were rejecting that area. You get all these wicks over here as well, but I'm just marking off that current weekly or current monthly wick as we keep rejecting it. And right now we're just pushing in. Right now sitting at 1862. Are we going to continue down to 1830? This is what we were talking about last week, where we were able to capitalize on some of this pullback over here. But last week, more so, this candle flipping bearish and continuing all the way back down to like 1860 over here. But right now, what you're getting is a major bullish move, right? We're still bullish over here, but we are taking part in this correction right now. So we got to see if we're breaking the trend or anything like that. But right now, what you are seeing is a strong bearish candle close. You're also seeing a much weaker close right over here. And then what you're seeing so far in the current weekly candle is the fact that we have not passed the low of that candle yet. And right now we're already retracing. So what could you see, Quinn, what could you see happening over here with this current candle after the previous two closes?
If we break the low, we could mirror the two bullet clean candles to the left.
Mm-hmm. And then what's your
as long as we respect that low, we could form a hold support and go back up. But I think here on the weekly we gotta wait and see what it does with the high and the low of the previous candle.
100%. I could definitely see this candle, and this is the beauty of being able to read price action, is the fact that like you can tell both biases. You see this flip right over here, right? We always talk about that setup on the higher time frames and lower time frames, but the fact that it passed the high, flip bearish, closed all the way down here, that tells me that we could continue this thing down. But we also have the fact that this candle barely has a bottom wick. Then we have this candle closing a doji candle. So we're losing the bearish momentum at that point, right? It's still closed bearish, but we're now starting to lose some of that momentum. So I could see, being that we're in this bullish trend here, this candle hold this support, flip bullish, and continue back up if we get more of a dovish Fed. Also, it really depends on CPI and retail sales this week, right? So I think we're going to probably consolidate until tomorrow. But right now, again, I could see this candle passing the low of that candle and just continuing right back down, at least in the 1830 here, which we'll see on the lower time frames. And I could also see it break the low of that, right? Come all the way down here, grab liquidity, and then close a doji candle and close bullish almost. And then the next candle creates a bottom wick and continues out. I'll kind of draw that out for you so you guys can see it. So the next candle pushes all the way into here. I'm sure you guys have seen this setup before. And then we close like almost like that. And then the next candle creates a bottom wick, flips bullish, passes the high, and then continues up. That could happen too. So again, we trade what we see, not what we think. We think there's a couple of different possibilities, but once we start to see the candles forming and closing, it gives us a much better idea of where price could go, and you're flexible. You're okay seeing multiple things instead of marrying one bias. Well, right now, what we can see here is that we did have a previous resistance over here to the left that we keep rejecting over here. Could probably draw that to the left even more. But right now, we've been rejecting that. And now this current candle, even though it is kind of holding support right here with that doji, we are rejecting that area for the first time. All right. So let's see on the daily. Ken, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Steph. How are you?
Doing great. I think this is your first live stream.
Yeah.
Awesome.
First live stream.
We just introduced you to everyone. We got Charlie, Quentin, Aziz, who's a new member with us. Shergil's in here. I don't know if you know Shergil, but guys, this is Ken. He's a good friend of Ki-Young, and he came in a few weeks ago. He's just been going through the course and everything.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Awesome. He actually owns a restaurant in the UK, so you guys should go check it out.
Pop in while you're there.
Plug
Steph, I was
his,
gonna say, would you see the 2000 mark as like a resistance point as well?
2000 is a psychological.
Profit taking.
2000 is definitely a psychological level. We've reacted to it multiple times. Right here on the daily, right over here. We also had some hesitation right over there, right? So 2000 being that psychological level, once you hit 2000 as a price point on gold, there's going to be some kind of reaction to it, right? Big banks, institutions, they're going to be looking at a level like 2000 because they all look at price. Right, we look at candles and everything, and that gives us ideas of where price is going to go, and it's a visual representation of the emotions of the market. But when it comes to banks and institutions, I'm not here telling you I'm an institutional trader, but I do know that they look at price points, and they want to bring price to a certain price or a exchange rate, right, before the end of a certain day or something like that. So, yeah, 2000 could definitely be a target over here. But what we do see is that we've been really rejecting like 1950, 1960 over here, that resistance right there and that resistance right there. So we've gotten multiple tests of that area where we push into it, reject, we get this higher low. This is actually the formation I was just pointing out to you guys of what we could get right over here on the weekly. Look at this. That's exactly how I drew it out, right? Where we create this high, we pull back, you end up getting this candle where we're breaking the lows over here. Looks like we're going to continue down, but no, we flip bullish. Next candle creates a top or bottom wick, passes the high, and then retest that high right there. So we could very well get something like that on the weekly here, where we push down over here. That candle ends up flipping bullish. Next one creates a bottom wick and continues right back up. Right, and that all depends on the Fed. So now looking at the daily over here, daily, we've been rejecting this level over here. Again, we closed right below a previous resistance. You can, at the point, that was a support right there. But right now, we've been rejecting that area more so than, holding support. But what we did do was hold some kind of a support right in here, which we still are, held some kind of a support in here, but we were getting those weak bullish candles, which we were talking about last week. We kind of called these candles too. Then we get the fake out in the lower time frames. Candle flips bearish. We execute on that, and we get these sells, right? Passes the low of the previous candle. This is that same exact setup we see on the weekly, where we pass the high of the candle, flip bearish, and close the strong bearish candle. But right now, we're still rejecting this area multiple times. Right, we keep, and then even the current daily candle, pushed all the way into this area, and now we're rejecting that area again, right? But take a look at this. This is kind of what happens when this happens. What we've been doing here is kind of following this trend. I don't want you to marry this because this is just a trend line and it's very subjective. All trend lines are. But right now we've been bouncing off and creating higher lows and retesting the previous high every single time, right? That's what gold does. So then we got a little overextended over here. We pull back right back down. This can actually go more so like right here. We were kind of retesting that area, and then we ended up closing right back below that area. And now this candle ends up tapping into that trend right here perfectly, but then closing like a bullish candle. So typically what ends up happening over here is we may get some consolidation until data comes out. And then after data comes out, we could potentially break this support and come right back into 1830, which we know is a very significant level on gold on the higher time frames. And once we close below here, you guys got plenty of pips that you guys can take advantage of. 300 pips right there, right? Now we'll see if there's anything worth trading in here, but then after you break 1883 here, you got plenty of room continuing all the way back up to retest that high. I'd say almost 750 pips to retest that high up there. Now, obviously, we'll see, some of the smaller ranges that we got to trade on the lower time frames, but these are the areas that you guys want to be trading in, not necessarily forcing anything in here. But we'll see. Maybe there are trades that we could find in there. All right, so as you see, what I want to do is kind of actually I'm just going to focus on the most recent support over here because we're not going to trade. As you guys can see, it gets a little dicey, or it gets a little harder to break down the areas over here because of that previous resistance over there to the left. Then you got all these clean moves, but then it starts to get choppy in here. But what we do see, more importantly, is the fact that we're not going to trade anything above this area, right? Because we keep rejecting that area. We need a nice close below that area. So what's the point of drawing this like right there, right? Like we need price to close below this area. So right now I'm just going to move this thing right here, right? Obviously we have this price action that we got to be concerned about right there. But at the same time, we're not going to take anything until we close below. And then you get that clean move to the left as well. You also have this current range that we're kind of like sitting in. So we'll see if there's anything worth trading in here because you do have a clean candle that came down. And if you do close above this area, price may be able to come back up and bounce off this support here, 1856. But right now, what I think is happening is we kind of retested that trend over here, right? We broke this area, created a low. We pulled back to retest that area. Now we just kind of consolidate, and then data is going to push us down even more, potentially. Guys, can you give me 1 second? Be right with. All right, sorry about that, guys. So now again, we're just looking at gold right now, and it's pretty rangy, right? It doesn't look like there's much that we could possibly play with here on the lower time frames, or on the higher time frames at least. But if we check out the lower time frames, yeah, you're seeing a lot of ranging in here, right? And not a lot of things to do once we as we're playing in this range. And again, as you notice, I'm drawing up the most recent support and resistance. Even though we got all this price action over here, what's most important here is the fact that once we break this resistance here, right, you got clean candles all to the left that you could be mirroring. It's dicey in here because you do have a big range, and this is a spot depending on the price action that you get right here, or if you get a nice strong close above that area, maybe you could take that bottom wick rejection and then take this up as an impulse entry. But right over here, when you're trading in this, all this consolidation right here, this is more of a spot where you'd want to wait for that break and retest. Kind of like that Friday trade that I took on, what was that, GJ? I think that was GJ. Yeah, it was GJ. GJ, we were ranging. I had the impulse volume push, but at the same time, GJ was ranging, so it's better to wait for that break and retest, which is something I should have done. But again, the trade that I took made a lot of sense. So I'm not upset with what I was doing, but you know, it's better to wait for that break and retest when you're ranging. Also, for the downside over here, got a clean move coming into this area. Once we break that support over here, yeah, clean candles coming right into here. And then obviously coming down into 1830. I do think if we break 1840, 1841, we are going to reach 1830 at some point, right? We're going to just continue this down. So does that make sense? You guys all good with gold? Beautiful. Awesome. So now looking at US 30. US 30 is on a nice little bullish run right here to start the morning. Again, still holding that 33,000 point. We're sitting right between 35,000 and 33,000. Sitting right now at 33,915. Right. So again, we're holding a nice support. We've been bullish since tapping the all-time highs before COVID. Right. We come all the way back down last year, hold support over here in the last few months, and we just catapult right back up with a more dovish Fed. Right. Then we pull back over here, right? We're a little overextended. We're due for a pullback. Hold 33,000 as support, right? We rejected for the first time there. Then we held support with that bullish candle in the monthly for the month of January. And right now, we're kind of like just teetering around this area. If you look at the weekly here, you'll see we're pretty much just ranging. And the last few weeks, we've been very bouncy, I guess you could say. All right, we're just kind of sitting in this area, trying to wait for things to happen. These candles are both doji candles, right? Rejecting that area, but also kind of holding like a higher low here, as we've been creating higher lows in the past, right? So this candle on the weekly has created kind of like, you know, we're holding this higher low right there with those candles, and now these candles are kind of holding like a higher low, as this candle has created a bottom wick, respect to the previous low, and is now flipping bullish to possibly continue back up to 34,400, right? Let's see, the daily over here. Daily is really ranging, right? Daily is once again, holding this support that we talked about for weeks now, but also, you know, you kind of have like this higher low in here. We keep bouncing off. Got that rejection over there, right? Got that candle holding support, bouncing off, holding support, rejecting, right? All these candles over here, we're just rejecting this area. But we did get, what I do like here is the fact that we got a candle like this closing. Anybody see what I'm seeing? Forget the fact that a lot of you guys don't trade US 30 yet, but what do you guys see with these current candles that I'm seeing right now, specifically the last two? Anybody know?
It's not being sold further down. There's been that rejection.
Yeah, you're getting a nice strong rejection, right? That's a nice candle, nice liquidity grab. Candle flip bullish, not only flip bullish, but closed a strong body, Now this candle is creating a beautiful bottom wick and passing the high of that candle right there. Right? So that already indicates to me on the daily, the current daily candle, we got some bullish momentum to continue up. Now, if we go over to teletrader and we take a look at the pre-markets over here, most of them, the S&P 500 is in the positive, UK 100 is in the positive, DAX, Germany. There's a lot of different indices over here that are positive, and the ones that aren't positive are just barely negative. Right, it's 0.05% on the Dow, US 30. So we could see this thing start to turn around in the next few days. Again, especially if we start to get good data coming out of the US. All right, so this could start to continue to range until there. But if you look at the 4 hour now, 4 hour from that same exact area that we just marked off here, this is that previous support. But right over here, we've been holding this higher low where you got that support right there, that wick, and then you got these candles holding support as well. Since tapping into here, you got strong bearish candle closes. Now these candles start getting a little bit weaker once you start to enter this whole area. Right? These candles start to get a little bit weaker, and then you get that liquidity grab for the first hint that we're going to bounce off this area. Right? Nice strong bullish candle. I wouldn't say strong, but it's a nice strong liquidity grab and a nice close. Then this tells you that, okay, we're creating that bottom wick, respecting the low, passing the high of that candle, and now we're creating a high. But not only that, we're now creating a higher low here, right? We're now holding a higher low here. We created this high. We pulled back into this area, and now we're retesting the previous high, starting to close above that area. What is that? 33,900, right? So you got a clean move to the left over here, clean candles over here that you could be mirroring. You are in a big consolidation, so do not ignore this, right? So it's difficult to trade. Everything's 50-50, but at the same time, you're starting to get this price action right over here is what you want to focus on, right? And the fact that we're creating a new high here, right? We've officially passed that wick. We're now creating a new high. So now there's a higher chance that price continues up to create an even bigger high so far in the 4 hour. Looking at the 1 hour now. Just going to adjust that right there a little bit. This was our high that we created. Previous support over here with that wick as well. Again, clean candles coming up into this area up here that we could be retesting. Got to measure this range. 324 points, right? So now, again, we're creating that new high. We get this higher low formed right over here. You see the 30-minute. Okay, 30-minute, we got that clean close above, right? Clean move to the left over here. So can we hold support in this area, and is price going to continue up, right? Let's see the volume that we got last week. What was last week's Monday's date? It's the 6th. The 6th. So the 6th over here was kind of choppy, right? Kind of choppy. We had a nice bearish move. We kind of corrected that move during the New York session throughout the day. We were creating like higher lows over here. So we didn't get that much movement on Monday. But then again, a lot of the data was coming later in the week. That's where you start to see a lot of these bigger moves over here. But right now, what I want to see is, can we hold a support? And what that tells me too is that this price action over here, where was it? Here we go. This price action over here is that there's typically a lot of pullbacks when you're consolidating, right? So that tells me that right now I would want to wait for price to possibly hold support or get that bottom wick rejection before taking this thing up. And what that also does for me is it gives me a tighter stop loss, right? Instead of putting my stop loss below that candle, if we can hold some kind of a support right here, maybe I can have a tighter stop loss and ride this thing up to continue up. All right, here's that little higher low that we've been respecting right there. Now we're just pushing up, retesting the high. So we just created that new high, clean move to the left. This is what I want to capture today. This is a nice setup here. Anyone got any questions on this? Let's see. Or something like that. All right, let's go back to GJ for a second. So GJ, you're starting to see some signs of exhaustion here, right? This candle passed the high of that candle, and it's now retracing. That doesn't mean it's going to flip bearish and continue all the way down, but you're starting to see some of that exhaustion over here. See how the 15-minute candles are getting a little bit weaker? Right now, this candle is failing to form. Like, we're already 5 minutes into that candle, and it's still like a doji candle right here. All right, so now you're starting to see price starting to turn around, kind of like this, where it's just like that slow turn, and then price continues right back down, and then you continue back up. So that's what we'll wait for. Gold still just, I don't even want to touch it. Gold is probably a no trading day, okay? You guys. 30-minute. Gold's difficult to break down our areas. I guess I would say right here. I don't know. We'll see. This whole area, you just got to watch out for. There could be a lot of fake outs. Like that. I think this is typically like the correct way that you guys can draw this. I just don't like doing that. But at the end of the day, like I think once you start to break out of this whole area right here, right, with all those wicks and everything, then you get some clean price action that you could mirror coming right back up. And it's kind of faking this whole area out. But we'll see what we end up getting. Wait to see what we see. All right, let's do some breakdowns, get through some improvements that you guys have been going through over the weekends and over the previous weeks. Charlie, do you want to break down the chart for us?
Sure, yeah.
Awesome. Any specific pair?
Let me have a look. What about Euro, Australian dollar?
Okay.
Or did I do that last time? I don't think so.
I don't think you did. Just remember, we're focusing on speed, efficiency, just most recent support and resistance. Get through this as clearly as you can. Very rangy pair.
Okay. Let's have a support here.
Okay. A little bit lower. Nice. Okay. And what are you seeing happening over here?
Well, it's in quite a range at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's currently consolidating. I'm not sure I draw any more zones in at this point.
You might not have to. I mean, if you want to, draw out like the distance, like if we're gonna break this support over here, right? Would you say we're coming into here?
Yeah, I
Right.
guess so.
You
Yeah.
get like a clean move once you start to break below that area, right?
Yeah.
And then also up here, maybe
And
these
same
wicks
up
right over
here.
here. Yep. You also get that resistance
Yeah.
right there. So it's basically like just picturing this as the 30-minute and knowing that we're consolidating in this area, and you may have safe buys above that area or even above here where you could take this area up, right? So it's the same. You're doing the same thing on the monthly as you were on the 30-minute. So do you want to mark these off?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Woo. All right. So that's the monthly. But what I'm saying is, like, what are you seeing happening here? Like, since 2012, what have we been doing? Right? Since then also since like 2020.
2012. Well, 2020, so the pandemic year, we started trending downwards. It's very rangy though. I mean, since 2012, for years, it's been uptrending, but very gradually.
Yeah.
And now we've hit these highs. We came up to here, hit this high, which is around the 2000, somewhere around the big crash, the sort of all-time highs of the big crash. Then we swiftly dropped during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Prices correcting, and since then we're kind of ranging here. This is that's probably the breakout of the war there. I don't know.
Okay. And then also, I saw you were you wanted me to draw this off.
Oh, there's quite an important zone here, but that'll get more apparent as we come into the weekly, I think.
Yeah, I actually like that. The only reason I was maybe not thinking about marking that off is because you do have these wicks up here, and that's obviously going to be a resistance on the lower time frames. But the fact that you have, I like this because you have that wick right there, and then these candle body rejections. So in the lower time frames, that might be that next resistance as well, and this might be an area that we could trade in.
Yeah.
But right now, what you are seeing here are lower highs. Is kind of what I was asking for, right? So you keep seeing these lower highs, and then it's got that bearish candle close right there, and we're also holding a support right in here. All right, so we're gonna take a look at that and see what's going on there, and then we'll go down to the weekly. All right, picked a hell of a pair.
It's tricky, isn't it? I guess starting with the most recent, if you could just tidy that up, bring that down a bit to there.
Okay.
Thanks. And again, this one.
Nice. Beautiful. Yep. So you just want price to break out of that area, and then the next destination, what are we looking at? Nice and simple.
Yeah, we've got some potentially nice moves above here and down here.
Yeah. And I would say like
Quite
this
nice
area
moves.
right here, you can move that there, but you're already starting to see.
What do you do about these sort of more minor supports here?
I'd mark that
Would
off.
you draw those in as well?
100%, because that was that previous resistance over here that we needed to retest over here, right? And we ended up closing above it and holding support at the area.
On this time frame.
You got multiple rejections here to the left as well, which is good. All right, so if you look at the daily now, it gets a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, it's a mess, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Because we can't. It looks like we're about to come back down to here. But I don't know what's the thumbnails.
You got like these strong impulsive moves, right? And you also are creating like lower highs over here, right? So now you could be doing the same exact thing here and getting another impulsive move, or the finish of the impulsive move, like right there. You get the same thing right here.
Yeah.
You just need to break what area?
Bias is definitely down. Need to break below here.
Need to close
this
below
zone here. Yeah, close below. This zone's quite thick here. There's lots going on. There's sticky area here, here, and here.
Well, we're still on the daily. So what do we need to break over here that could push us down to that area. You might be able to grab a scalp.
Yeah, in this area here, could
Yep.
probably grab something.
Yep. If we break where?
Oh, well, we're kind of broken below this point already here. Right. Could you just zoom in a bit?
Yeah. I'll help you out. So right here, you're just looking for a close below.
Yeah,
Right? Because you're getting the lower high over here. Right? Strong impulsive move. We pull back at that area. Then you get the strong bearish candle close. Another strong, this candle's creating a top wick, starting to flip bearish, come right into that area. So we'll see in the lower time frames if we could close below there and see if we even have enough pips. Yeah. So you get enough pips right in there that you could take a sell in. So let's see what
yeah,
we
it looks like it's breaking. That current candle's breaking its own. The daily candle's breaking its own low at the moment by the looks of it. Or it's about to.
100%. So I'm just trying to look at US 30 here. Might have a possible entry. Right now. We'll see how that plays out. All right, so looking at the 4-hour. Man, this is a nasty pair.
Yeah, so it's got a little way to go to close below here, but that's what we're looking for. And then we could have a potential move down to here, but even this zone is quite dodgy.
Yeah.
Alternatively, I mean, don't know if you want to scalp in this range, but you've got a potential buy there. Got some clean moves here.
I mean, this is the 4-hour, so maybe you do, but I feel like
Yeah,
for this, I'd rather just wait for price to close above this area. I wouldn't want to like just try to trade in here, especially with the way this price action is. I think safer
Yeah.
buys are going to be above 154.9.
sure.
And then
Yeah.
over here, it's a little difficult, but I think really depending on the setup here, I think I'd rather wait for that, sell below here. I think that
Yeah.
this is you could get rid of that.
Sure.
Just be like, okay,
Yeah.
you got safe sells below here, you got safe buys above here, coming up into here.
Yeah. Looks
Then
good
you
to
could
me.
even let's see the 1-hour. Nope, maybe
And
not.
there's lots of big candles. It looks like if you knew what you were doing, you could get some
Yeah.
nice trades in here, but it moves weird. It doesn't move anything like GJ.
Yeah, this is a very dodgy pair. It's very difficult. Like I do like the price action of price possibly continuing down here, but where would you even get in this? Because this is a strong demand
Yeah.
zone, right? This whole
Right.
area price likes to shoot up from, right? So now we're sitting in that area. You're gonna sell into that? I don't think so, right? And then
Dodgy.
if we get into here, you get a hard impulsive move coming up from that area. So you want to be careful with that. So I feel like that would probably be, see the 30-minute. Yeah, you could easily get trapped in this whole range right here. Right? Because you could sell right into that, get trapped, and then price takes you right back. And then also don't forget that you have Australian data coming out. That's not till tomorrow. Lowe is going to be speaking tomorrow. Yeah, you have employment data, so this is gonna be a main focus right now for a pair like this. Let's see. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I would say I would move that in the next couple of days, but Yeah, I would really just stay out of all this right here. And I'd more so just rather trade up in here, right? You got clean moves coming into here. And then below,
Yep.
below deck, if you will. You got fairly clean moves coming down here. Now you're breaking structure once you break this support right over here. Actually, if you look right over here, you might be able to grab something into here. Right? Once you break all these areas, yeah, 100%. If you break that support right there, you got about 36 pips coming down into that area with a clean move. Right? You would just need a strong close below this support. 153.8. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Yeah. Tricky
Yeah,
pair.
very tricky pair, right? I you know, that's not on you. It's but again, it just
Sure. No, it's all good.
it should force you to want to, like, you know, break down even more pairs and get even better at it, because as you keep doing it, you're gonna get better. But good job,
Sure,
buddy.
man. No, thanks.
All right. Anybody else want to break
Who's
down the
next?
chart? Yeah. Anyone feel like they're ready yet? Sure, Jill, you wanna show them how it's done?
I send you a chart now.
You sent the chart?
Yeah, just I no this another this
What, this one?
yeah.
Okay. So you set a buy stop on the 5 minute.
Because exactly because between 8 and 8:30 you have volume. Donc if he go and I take the move.
Okay. Let's take a look at
What you
GJ right here.
think for this?
Absolutely. So what I think here is that, yes, you are getting volume coming into the market, but remember it's Monday, and remember that you would be buying the high up here on the 30 minute, right? You see how, like, overextended it is over here? This is where a lot of people get trapped because they get FOMO that they missed this move. They try to buy up here, and then all of a sudden they get caught in the pullback, right? Like this move right here is due for some kind of a pullback at some point. It's not worth it to me to get in on the 5 minute up here just to squeeze these pips out. That makes sense? What I could see happening here is this seems like a solid rejection area where price is rejecting multiple times. I could see us rejecting this area, getting a 5 minute bearish candle close. We consolidate in this area, and then that's where you start to get that pullback. And then price holds support in here to continue up, could hold support in here and continue up. And then that on the 30 minute, which is a stronger time frame, will be your support that you could take this thing up. And this is the high that you want to retest. That makes sense? Aziz?
Yeah. Donc if the between 8:30 he break the high, the best to enter in this price, or you must to test, you keep the price down slowly after. It
So
depends the market when he give you exactly. You cannot make prevision for what happen. Me,
So-
if you have a good move, I'm here. If no good, he don't touch, he don't break this price. I don't. I'm out. I'm
okay.
far for.
Aziz, you want to be able to think like a professional, right? So a lot of
Yeah.
times beginner traders will come in here and they'll either get FOMO over this move or see that it's a buy and it's like, damn, I need to get in on this, right? Now, professional traders have more patience, right? They see a move like this and they're like, something's fishy about this. I think that we're due for a pullback. This is what's called overbought. Have you ever heard overbought, that term?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is overbought
In
right now.
RSC, yeah.
And a lot of beginner traders will get in at the top over here and get caught in the pullback. And that's what I don't want to see you doing. Right? There's a small possibility that price can continue up here in the 5 minute, right, and continue up. And sure, can you grab these little pips right here? Absolutely. But over the long term of your career and over the long, if you're looking at the big picture of your career and you're doing this over and over and over again, most of these trades will end up being losses. Does that make sense?
Okay, I throw this. Okay, I cancel.
There you go. Again, like it can play out, but most of the time it's not. And that's what you want to start to think about. You want to think about what's going to happen majority of the time, and that's where I want to put my money. See, like I said, I think what's up?
Risky. It's risky, yeah, I'm sure.
It is,
it's
yeah.
risky.
And also trading on the 5-minute is risky as well. You wanna stay on more so the 30-minute. And you'll start to learn that, as you go through the course and everything. And understand that it's probably not the best thing to do on a day that doesn't have as much volume. It's pushing up, right? But like I said, at any point, this thing could come right back down. Gold, nothing. US 30. What I'm looking for, it looks like we're holding some kind of a support here on the lower time frames. On the 15-minute, we're holding some kind of a support, but we do keep rejecting this area. I'd much rather get the actual pullback, like a high being created here on US 30. We pull back into this area and hold support because, like I was just saying with GJ, we're a little overextended here. We're due for a pullback right into this area, and then you take this up later on.
Yeah. But the US 30 is moving 9:30, and when the market is open 9:30,
Exactly.
he's very quick. He's very quick. Like, he go down. I'm sure he go down to after he go up.
Yep.
So you must wait in 9:30 to have a safety trade.
It's a good call. Yeah, 9:30 is definitely a area that you want to wait for. Definitely a nice volume push at that area, that time. We got Sam in here. Sammy, what's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Not
How are you?
much. How was your weekend?
It was great, man.
Awesome. What'd you do?
Went to the gym, played a lot of football. My team won.
Nice.
That's it.
There you go.
Happy.
Anybody watch the Super Bowl last night?
It was actually on in the UK. It was kind of big.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The best thing I like is the halftime show.
That's what all the girls say. And the
I didn't get it.
commercials too?
Like, I just don't get how you play it because it was on like they promote it so muddy. It's like headlining, and it comes on like midnight.
Yeah,
And
it
I was
does.
up at that time, and I was thinking, what is this 38-41 or these scores and whatever? I just don't get the aim of the game.
Well, do you play rugby at all, or have you ever watched it?
I've watched rugby, yeah. I don't know how to play it.
It's a similar mix between rugby and I guess soccer. I would say, I don't know, but it's cool because you have 100 yards on the field and you have 4 downs to get a first down, and typically first downs are 10 yards. But like if you you got to run the ball to get that first down, and if you don't and like you fall up short, you have the second down and you have the difference of those yards. So like let's say you're on the 20-yard line and you need to run 10 yards to get the first down. If you don't get that, and let's say you only run 8 yards, now it's 2nd and 2. It's second down and you have 2 yards to get a first down. Right, so the objective is to get first downs as you're charging down the field, and then eventually you want to score in the touchdown, which is 100 yards away. Does that make sense at all?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
to get as many downs as you can, basically.
But I find it to be, like, obviously I'm a little biased, but the most interesting sport because it takes a full team effort to have success on the field. Like if you're like every single down, you have 11 players on the field for your team, and if one of those players is not doing their job, and if they're off by just a minor detail, that whole play could get messed up. So it's a total team effort. I think soccer is similar, but you got guys on the back end that could just stand around on defense while offense has the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like basketball is more like, you could have one player take over. You get one player like just ball out and really play well offensively. But with football, it takes a full team effort. A lot of onus is put on the quarterback, but I don't know. It's interesting in that way. That's why it's so important to have team chemistry and all that stuff in football, because if you don't, it's not going to go your way. Oh. GJ is pushing up over here. This is looking nice.
15 minutes is nice. He's broke the
15-minute close is bullish. Yeah, it did.
15 minutes.
We got the 15-minute pullback over here, right?
Yeah.
My thing is like, let me see how many pips you have here. So you only have 20 pips up there. What did you send in here? Your stop loss would be below the 5-minute.
5 minutes, 5 minutes. More scalping, more very quick. But 15 minutes is because between now 8:30 you have volume. Why I'm decide, or if it's 7 a.m. I don't see that the volume.
Yeah, the thing is like Aziz, when you guys come in here, it takes me a few weeks to understand the way you guys look at the market, right? So like once we hop on that first Zoom, then I'll start to be able to understand like, okay, this is what you're looking for. Like right now, like you send me the 5-minute chart, I would personally advise not to take that trade because I know price is going to pull back at some point. But once we hop on that first Zoom, then I'll be able to really understand like the way you look at the market, and I'll be able to work with you on trading those 5 minutes. When's the best time to take trades on the 5-minute if that's what you're looking at? Like we have a member in here, Serge, from the UK, but he's from Ukraine. I think you met him the other day on Friday, but he trades the 1 and the 5-minute. I've been getting him onto the 30-minute, and he likes it a lot better. But that's where he started out, and it took us a few weeks to really learn each other and understand, the way he trades, and we put together a trading plan and everything. So that's what I'm going to do for you to see, where exactly you're aligning with the market and how you look at the market, what makes sense to you, and then we're going to form a trading plan around that. Make sense? And that goes for all you guys that I haven't hopped on that Zoom with yet. So looking over here at US 30, now we're getting that pullback. And this is actually the same setup. What's it called? Aziz, that I was just talking about. Now gold GJ is continuing up, which is nice, right? But right here, you're a little overextended on US 30, right? And we create this high. It looks like we're holding support here on the 5-minute to continue right back up. But what do? We hold that resistance and get like a double top there. Does that make sense? Like that's what I was. What's up?
Sorry, I have me in this US 30. I don't short in here because the general movement is up. If I'm short after I don't know the market is up or down, the best to buy, like you, and you wait in the price 33,089 in this resist.
So you're saying you never short US 30?
Because the long things, the movement, general movement is buy, is bullish.
Okay.
Donc, you must to wait for the price to test the resistance after you buy, like what you say.
Oh, like right here?
You have some people, yeah, in here, exactly.
Oh, you're talking just this specific setup. Like you would never short this.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
beautiful.
This setup, for this example.
Exactly.
Must to think.
You wait for the retest and then you take this out. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. That's a good call. So yeah, now what I'm just waiting for is what you do have is this high created. right? So now let's wait for the support to form, get a clean move to the left, and maybe you could take a buy over here to retest the high and continue through that area, right? That's what I want to see. Now, GJ, let's see what we're doing over here. We did create a new high up here, right? But again, at any point, this 30-minute needs to be coming down, and we need to get that pullback. Ken, do you have any questions?
No, I'm watching Dow with interest as well, because sometimes Dow doesn't give you that pullback opportunity as well. Sometimes it shoots off,
Oh, US
and
30,
that's where I struggle on.
the Dow right here.
Yeah, that's where I struggle on personally. When it shoots off, I get a lot of FOMO.
So-
International event.
So you find yourself, I kind of describe traders as two different sides, right? There's the fearful side, which you're afraid to lose, right? You're okay with missing moves, right? Because you really want to be correct. You're more of a perfectionist. And then you also have more so greedy traders where they get FOMO over missing a lot of moves. They want to be involved in every single move that happens. Where would you say you, and this is something that we're going to go over on your individual Zoom, but if you want to talk right now, we can about psychology and that stuff.
I'm more in the type of I feel bad when I miss any move.
You're more of a
Especially
greedy
in-
trader. You don't mind risking.
I don't mind risking. I don't mind losing. It's just
Okay.
what missing out that things me.
There's no right way to start, right? So there's no, like, everyone thinks differently and everyone looks at the market differently. But I feel like, for those types of traders, you guys are going to end up making a lot of money pretty quickly if you could get that discipline in order, right? Because you don't mind risking. So there's just a couple tweaks that you need to put in your trading to get you more comfortable. Now, if you were more on the fearful side, it just takes a lot more back testing and a lot more getting comfortable on a simulator or something like that with risking and putting money on the line because you are more disciplined and you're okay with missing some moves. So that's a good area to start as well. But I've worked with many people on your side of the market as well, getting your discipline in order, making sure that you're not greedy anymore. You're getting more and more patient. I mean, I wouldn't say Sammy was that greedy, but he was more undisciplined, and he was able to get really in tune with his patience. Right, Sammy? I don't know if you're there. Are you?
Yeah, I was more on the greedy side. Yeah.
Yeah, you were on the greedy side. We were able to hone that down, and now you don't get FOMO at all. Now you're super patient and you're profitable. You're doing everything that you want to be doing right now. So, if you could just talk about that transition of becoming more patient, that'd be awesome.
Me? You want me to talk about become
Yeah,
more patient?
just tell Cam
Yeah.
like kind of the benefit of thinking that way.
I don't know. It's just like, and I use this phrase a lot. Like less is more nowadays. Just with anything. Like the less trades I take, at a time I would be taking like 10, 15, maybe 20 trades a week, which was too much for me. And then when I cut that down to like 7, 8, 9, I started seeing like 6 wins and 2 losses. Whereas if I took 15 or 20, I'd see 10 wins, 10 losses without managing risk, or I'll see like 12 losses, 8 wins. So when you weigh them up, of course, in my head now, I think, okay, like even like with the trade now on the 15-minute, if this was, I don't know, 6 months ago, I probably would have taken it and been like, I want to get in the move. I don't want to miss out. This can retest that high at 650 or 700, whatever it is. But now, obviously, I know I can get a better entry that ticks all my boxes and my plan and my rules and everything. If we just get that pullback and we see a bigger range that we can target. There was times where I'll just try to get in news, right at news. Many times on the stream, I'd probably just lost taking trades based off news, just trying to get that money very quickly, or be part of that big 100 pip dump on NFP or CPI or interest rates, whatever it is, and it literally just stopped me out. Whereas now I'm more patient and I will just wait for the reaction to the news. And in the long run, it may take longer to get where you want to be, but eventually you will get there. but it might just take a little longer. You know, you just got to get rid of the greed, get rid of the impatience, and now that's transcended into my daily life. You know, like going to the gym, being consistent with it. You know, eating healthy, being disciplined. You know, I can walk away from the charts for a week and not feel anything. I could walk away, go on holiday for 2 weeks, and it'd be like I'm not missing anything because I know when I come back, I can trade like a disciplined trader. I don't need to jump in moves very rationally or irrationally, shall we say. It's benefits me a lot in the long run.
That's awesome, man. A lot of little tidbits right there for anybody that's more so of a greedy trader and they get FOMO a lot. Would you say, Sammy, that you know, being more okay with missing moves has benefited you a lot?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because then you see the outcome, like you see how it plays out afterwards. I don't know if you kind of grasp what I'm saying, is that like the more times you miss a trade, the more times you see that an hour later it'll settle and it'll work out. And you'll see it the next day, and you see it the next day, and you see it next week, and you see it the week after, you'll be like, do you know what? If it's not giving me my settle right out breakout, I don't need to get into that. I can just wait an hour and a half, 2 hours, no matter how long it'll be for that few bearish candles on 30-minute, get that one engulfing bullish. You take it up, you ride it up for 20, 30 pips, and that's all you need for the day, to be honest. And we are scalpers, you just got to remind yourself of that. You know, we're not swing traders, we're not holding trades for days or weeks or months. All we need is 10, 15, 20 pips just to get better.
100%.
And I always, like Steph always says, you get 10 pips a day, 15 pips a day, you're not complaining, you're not crying.
It's
And
consistent.
yeah, weeks turn into months, and then when you get to the month stage, we're just taking 10, 15, 20 pips. It's like you never want to turn back to your old self.
Yeah.
Like I never want to trade the news. No, I never on the like at the actual event just to get in that 100 pip dump. I'd rather wait half an hour, get in on the reaction, get the 5-minute resistance, 5-minute support, and take it up or down whichever way it was heading.
100%.
And I always say, like, I think I said this last week to Steph, that this analogy that I use, like if price is just going, think of it as you just missed your bus or your train. There's always going to be another stop. There's always going to be another train that you can get on.
Yeah.
Or you might have to wait 10, 15, 20 minutes on a bus train for another bus or train, but eventually you will get on, and that's the goal. As long as you get on, that's the only thing you need. And if you don't get on today, you can get on tomorrow.
Dude, I just thought of a great analogy that kind of mashes up with that. Is like you want to wait for your correct train. You don't want to just jump on any random train that you don't know the destination of it.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want to know which train is the correct train to get on. That's going to bring you where you need to go. Not just any random train. Not any random train is going to bring you where you need to go. But like it's like, honestly, as a trader, like we expect to come into this and make a ton of money and be successful right away, but you have to pay dues. And our dues, just like if you wanted to be a doctor, your dues is be a resident, to go and work under another doctor for years, go to school, medical school, all that stuff. Same thing being a lawyer. You got to go to court cases. You got to watch under somebody. You got to be like an apprentice to somebody, all that stuff. Our paying dues is not nearly as time consuming as that, right? But you still have to go through them. And those dues are missing moves, I believe, right? Your dues as a trader, there's a whole cycle to becoming a successful trader. And that is watching moves play out, watching a setup that you think could be a correct one that you're going to be taking in the future, watching it play out, journaling it, being like, okay, this is how I would have caught that trade. Okay, watch it a second time. It happens in the market tomorrow, right? Now let me watch how that plays out. Okay, I'm not comfortable taking it just yet, but let me journal it again. And let me compare the two moves and where I would be entering, where I'd be securing, where I would manage risk if maybe it doesn't play out, whatever the case may be. But now the third day, maybe on Wednesday, the same exact setup presents itself. Now let me go back Now let me lower my risk because I'm starting to get comfortable with this setup. I've seen it in back testing as well, maybe. Let me lower my risk to maybe 0.5%, 1%, and let me execute on this and see how it works out. And that's the whole process. Maybe that one plays out, maybe it wins, right? But like, you can't just be getting in on any setup that presents itself. You can't just be using any tool before you even know how to use it. You got to be able to like exercise and train your mind, train your eyes, and all that stuff before entering a lot of these setups. So eventually, your toolbox gets bigger. You get more and more confident with it, and you build your confidence through doing that. But if you're skipping steps like that, you're just going to be, going in circles as a trader. I've been there. I know I've helped many traders that have been there and have gotten out of it. And it's just about just paying those dues and knowing that you don't have to nearly go as long as a doctor or a lawyer to be making that amount of money. You could be, again, we focus on our mission statement over here and our reminders, right? You focus on your trading plan. Was I just gonna? Oh, you have a sense of urgency today, right? Where you're making sure you're getting your back testing in, you're trading AAR, you're journaling, all that stuff. Do it all quickly and get it all done every single day. If you focus on that, you will be a successful trader. That's the key. Focus on your daily tasks every day, your daily musts. Get them done before anything else. And that's what builds confidence. That's where you get good. Make sense?
Yeah.
I forget where we oh, I was talking to Ken. So Ken, did that help?
Yes, it's all about getting everything into a habit, like
What's up?
anything else, getting the right habits.
Getting the bad habits out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, what you just finished the course this weekend?
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, so maybe on Friday, like I said, or early next week, like Monday. As soon as the week starts, we're gonna be able to hop
Monday
on
will be better.
Monday?
Monday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Monday we'll hop on a Zoom and we're going to go through all your goals, your V2 MOM for that mental foundation part of the course, what you want to accomplish. We're going to set together, a daily task for you to do every single day and for you to focus on your trading plan, all that stuff. And then you'll be on your way.
Great.
Good job getting that shit done this weekend, though.
No,
Yeah,
thank
sense
you.
of urgency.
Yeah, it had to be done. I've dragged it out so long.
I like it. Good shit. I mean, you can't control the past, and obviously it took a little bit, but you control the future, and you control, getting that done. So I love that.
No. Do you know what it came with? It started to going to the gym. Going to the gym puts structure to everything.
You went to the gym?
That adds the urgency, I think. Doing sports is what adds urgency.
100%. Well, we're gonna get into fitness and everything as well. There's a bunch of guys in here that I'm helping with fitness, diet, goals as far as what they want to look like and stuff like that, and they're well on their way. I know Charlie, you're doing a good job with it, right?
Yeah, it's speeding up as well. It's taken me a while to get back into it, but I'm getting my momentum going, losing weight. I'm doing an eating window, so like intermittent fasting. So I'm only eating an 8-hour window a day. I'm eating 2 kind of decent meals, and I'm getting at least 1 workout in a day, usually 2.
Nice.
And as I'm ratcheting up the frequency, the exercise, and the intensity, more weight's falling off.
You feeling
Yeah, feel
stronger?
good, feel great, feeling stronger. Yeah, mentally stronger, physically stronger,
Let's go.
feeling great. Yeah,
Oh man, it's only the beginning too. It's
yeah,
this feeling is going to get stronger and stronger. You're going to get more and more confident with everything that you do. You're going to start to walk into rooms and people are just not going to recognize you because you look completely different. But it's like, wow, like this is a different Charlie, right?
hmm
Like Ken, I want to get
yeah,
you to the
man.
point where you walk into your restaurant just high, proud, mighty, strong, and your employees and everyone looks at you as a leader because you're confident in yourself. Good talk. All right, guys. So
What restaurant do you own, Can? What's the type of restaurant you run?
It's in Essex. It's like a cocktail bar brunch place.
Oh, nice.
It's
How's it
where,
going?
where is it?
It's going really well. Essex is a perfect place for it.
Essex?
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Essex is a
That's
part
where
of London where England where everyone's they like going out.
Nice.
New Jersey, you got Guidos, right?
Yeah.
Essex is where all the British Guidos are.
There's a-
British
Yeah.
Guidos. I didn't even know there was
Yeah, they're all orange too. Yeah,
They're all arranged, all spend money. But they're very family oriented at the same time. They're nice people, but at the same time.
What's an English
yeah,
Guido?
they're good people. They are. They are. Yeah. The only way is Essex, right? I think that's popular in the US as well. Maybe you haven't heard of it, but
That's our crowd. That's our customers.
I think it's a
English
Guido,
I'd
Guido,
say
not
Guido.
Guido.
It's not going to come up like that.
Yeah,
But if you write only ways Essex, you'll see it more better. Or Essex girls.
Mike, the situation pops up.
yeah. He's a
Oh,
Guido.
these
Yeah.
these
No,
guys
it's not gonna-
are these Guidos?
no,
Uh,
please don't describe it at all.
No.
Look at this.
Yeah, they're Guidos.
Oh man, we're gonna start offending people. Today's day and age, everyone gets offended. All right, here's that pullback. Hopefully happening on GJ. But for today, I don't think I'm going to be taking anything until maybe something breaks out. I'd like to see a nice support held on US 30. I don't know if we're going to get that today, but as you guys saw, like last Monday, we had kind of a rangy day, right? It was, we created a high and then we retested that high, but it started kind of like chopping around that day. And that's exactly what could happen today. But I am looking to retest that high if we do get some kind of a support formed over here. But again, I'm not going to be forcing anything back to our mission statement and our reminders. You don't need to catch a trade today. You want to wait for your setup, have that high standard for the market, making sure the market, like, you got to play out for me. If you're not playing out for me and not giving me what I want to see, I'm not going to touch you. Right? So just keep that in mind, have that mindset, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. If I take anything, I'll let you guys know. I'll call it out in the chat. And that's, have that sense of urgency today. Hit your daily must. Start your week off right and build your confidence. That's what you want to focus on every single day. Horse blinders on. Focus on your tasks. Get them done as quickly as you possibly can today, but also efficiently. And then you can, reward yourself with some kind of entertainment and stuff like that. But, it shouldn't be focusing on reward. You want to make sure that your dopamine hit is coming when you're doing the work. So when you're doing the work, you're building momentum, you're feeling more confident in yourself, and that's what should be feeling good for you. So you almost want to reset your dopamine reactors for the fact that, like, when you're doing work, you're feeling good about yourself, right? And that just comes from putting work in and doing the same thing consistently every single day. So start your week off right this week. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go through the course, finish the course, and you'll know what I'm talking about when it comes to these daily tasks, your daily musts. And if we haven't hopped on that one-on-one Zoom yet, your first one, I don't expect you to know all these things and go through them all. Like, we're going to go through those on your Zoom. All right, boys.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks a lot, Steph.
Good job showing up today. I'll see you guys
See you later on.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Charlie, I have you today.
Yeah, is it
I have
3
you
p.m.?
today
I
at
think
3:30. Yep.
3:30. Cool.
And I think you are. Oh, and I have Ramona at 7:30. Okay. Awesome. Have a great day, guys. Charlie, I'll see
Thanks
you
very
later.
much.
Bye-bye.
Stay, mate.
Bye, guys.